Hey, all right, yeah, we're talking about Daredevil, and we're getting judgy. I'm getting my Judge Judy on, or my Judge Joe Brown on, and I'm judging comic books by their covers. And this is the judge right here, if you remember from Batman, the animated series. Um, but yeah, I'm judging the Daredevil comics or covers of the 1970s. All right, and I got my red lighting going on, feeling like a Kenny Rogers roaster's chicken on a rotisserie up in here, and I'm all right with that. I feeling nice up in here. Talking Daredevil, the 70s. This was an era just a bit before Frank Miller took over in the late 70s and early 80s. Um, Daredevil was firmly in the shadow of Spider-Man at this point. But let me tell you something. The Daredevil covers of this period are second to no one. Okay, I had a hard time narrowing it down. I couldn't even do a top 10. And let me just dive right into it. When we start at January of 1970, look at this, the start of the 70s. This is Gene Colan. This is a name that will etch itself in the early parts of Daredevil lore from the 60s. And his name will continue in the early 70s until about 72. But this one, Daredevil 60, issue 60, here comes Daredevil, the man without fear. Look at him. He's delivering a double stone cold stunner to two thugs with a can of whoop ass on them. At the same time, kicking the hell out of some thug in the front, holding a gun. And this is a showdown at sea. This is on a boat. And the villain called Crime Wave coming out the back, and money's flying everywhere. This is one hell of a caper. This is one way to kick off the 1970s. What a cover. There's so much action, so much going on this cover. Flawless stuff. And the red of Daredevil's costume, it always pops on these covers. Just amazing stuff. We're going to move on to Daredevil 61. This is the next month, in February of 1970. I'll be honest, I could care less about Mr. Hyde, Cobra, or Jester. I don't really like any of these villains. But this is a pretty cool way of showing Daredevil tangling with all three of them. One thing I wonder about Jester, he looks like he has like bells or little jingle bells on him. Does he? I don't know if I see clearly enough, but if he does, I could see why that would really upset Matt Murdock. With his senses, if he's fighting some guy who's jingling like a bunch of janitor's keys, that would really upset him a lot. So I kind of see how he could be a villain for Matt Murdock. In the next one here, this is a bit of a jump ahead. Daredevil 82. I look at the Scorpion here, a Spider-Man villain fighting Daredevil. I dig this kind of stuff. I always like when, villains who are more well known for other heroes fight other guys. Why not? They're both New York City heroes, so why wouldn't they meet each other once in a while? That's pretty cool stuff. Look at his face. He's up for it on this tree, swatting him with his tail. Looking kind of sus though. I don't know. It's kind of a weird. I like the way Todd McFarlane revamped Scorpion's tail in the late '80s or early '90s. I think had it have like a hook, like a stinger on the end. That was a pretty cool look. Anyways, Daredevil, the man without fear. It still says this. Issue 84. He's getting blasted by this assassin who's got eye beams. I think you've got to fear anybody who's got eye beams, man. You're super powered to the max if you can do that. And I like his little living space, that little pod he's got. That's some real super villain stuff. But he's the assassin. I don't remember hearing from him again. Okay, moving on. That was 84. This is 85. This is the next issue. And the famous Gladiator with his buzzsaw gauntlets. This is up in an airplane, 15,000 feet in the air, ripping the inside of the plane apart, while Daredevil's just pie-facing one dude and super kicking the other. I love a lot of the action on these Gene Colan covers. Like Daredevil's putting in work. And the stewardess just out for the count. I hope that's from the air pressure and not because something happened. Anyways, let's leave that alone. The next one here, wow. 87, again, Spider-Man villain, Electro. I really like the way Electro is drawn here. His face mask always made no sense to me, of course. But here it makes sense. It actually looks like some electricity coming off his face. And look at the perspective, the people below and the fire trucks and the ladder. This is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant composition. And you notice, again, a lot of the Daredevil covers don't really make use of the top part of the cover. So it's kind of a limited space that he's working with, but making the most of it. Man, that's good stuff. That's 87. Now, 2 issues later in 89, he's not only fighting Electro, but also Kilgrave, the Purple Man. Wow, again, the perspectives on this cover and the color contrast. Fantastic stuff. Now, one thing I hope Daredevil, he looks like he's in trouble here. This dude in the front pointing at him, I hope he missed. I really hope he missed with that shot, because that could be bad for Daredevil. Anyways, that was 89. Moving on, just a few issues later, this is the end of an era. This is actually the last Gene Colan, well, at least the last Gene Colan issue that I'm showing. And this is with Mr. Fear. I love this cover. Daredevil really does look like he's in fear. Look at his legs. He's all shaky, about to get pushed off a building. Now, let me tell you something about the next one here. Because look, The Man Without Fear. And then the next one that I'm showing you, this is about a year later, issue 104. Fear, he's not even talking about no fear anymore. And he's with the Black Widow at this point. So maybe he's learned to live with fear and other things in his life. But again, another Spider-Man villain, Kraven, sneaking up on Daredevil. And again, the composition is flawless. This is Gil Kane, the brilliant, brilliant Gil Kane. And his fingerprints are all over this one. And Black Widow, again, like figuring prominently on the cover. And she's like the damsel in distress on this one. All right. Moving on here. This one is interesting. You don't see in issue 109, Black Widow's name isn't there anymore, but she is on the cover. If you look to the top right, she's in the clutches of Nekra, the high priestess of death. Now, one thing I can't unsee in this cover is that looks like a 6-story building. The perspective of Nekra and Black Widow are they, I don't know, they look like Godzilla up there compared to how they should be. But anyways, someone's making it rain and cash is floating all over the place. Okay, so that's Gil Kane and Frank Giacola as well. Now the next one here, take a look at this one. Take a look at the action in this one. And by now, this is actually 1975, January 1975. Gil Kane, Daredevil crashing through the window. The owl is blasting at him here in the bottom right corner. And Daredevil's flipping around like Mary Lou Retton on a 8-ball of cocaine. Listen, I don't know if Mary Lou Retton is involved with any of that, and there's no slander involved, but that was the 80s, and no one would really be too surprised at that time period. But anyways, I'm sorry. And if you don't know who Mary Lou Retton is, why are you watching a video about Daredevil covers in the 70s? You're too young to be watching this. But anyways, I apologize to Mary Lou Retton, I guess. But in this cover, anyways, look at the action. Daredevil getting right up in the owl's grill. That's fantastic, fantastic stuff. Okay, moving on here. Look at this. Daredevil tangling with Hydra. All right, he's up against it here. Think about Daredevil of today. He would how you can't think of him getting caught in this kind of situation. He's fighting a robot, the Dreadnought. Okay, so and he looks like he's going for broke in this fight. He's going for it all. So this is fantastic stuff. And again, the Black Widow's back. You can see her in the top right, figuring prominently on the, well, at least in the top of the cover. I don't see her anywhere in battle. But there you go. That's him against Hydra. Now in the next one, I believe this is the first, well, at least in the issues I'm showing you, of the legendary Klaus Janson in the inking work that he did. And this is Gil Kane composition. Once again, the master of this era. His covers are peerless almost. And here, the villain Copperhead, he's got Daredevil dead to rights and about to throw him in a grave. All right, this is a fantastic piece of work here. Daredevil 125. And then moving on, still in the same year of 1975, the end of, in December of that year. Look at this cover. The Death Stalker. All right. And who's this? The other guy, the Stairmaster, the Skywalker. Sorry, the Stairmaster. Yeah, the Skywalker is this alien type of dude in the background. But this is a striking cover. Just fantastic stuff. Okay, moving on. Just a couple issues later. Take a look at this one, 130. The skeleton, the drawing of the, and this is Rich Buckler. Okay, so at this point, Gil Kane had his time, and now it's moving on to another era here. But take a look at the detail on that skeleton. And I believe this was a Voodoo themed issue. The villain was a guy named Brother Zed. So it wasn't, he wasn't literally fighting a giant skeleton. All right. Moving on now, look at this. The infamous Bullseye. And you see, in this cover, Daredevil is thinking, he's got the drop on me. There's no way I can save myself. All this time you're thinking about it, you can still be moving. But yeah, Bullseye's got a dart ready to hit him right in the back of his head. But this is a fantastic piece of work right here. All right. I'm going to move on to another one here. Now this, the infamous Owl is back. And using this image of, the giant visage in the back of the villain. And Daredevil's tripping, like, what am I saying? I was going to say, what am I seeing? But you're not seeing. What am I sensing? Okay. And this was Al Milgrom, actually, workhorse artist of this time period. This might be a good time to let you know, I make some t-shirt designs, and I've made one for the Owl, even though I'm not really a big fan of this character, but I'm going to plug my t-shirt design because I think it's dope. So put some money in my pocket before I get a cease and desist from Marvel Corporation. Okay. All right. We're going to move on. We're near the end of the decade. We're in 1977 here. June of 1977. I love this cover. Bullseye got the TV cameras on Daredevil as he proceeds to, at least try to kill him on live television. But I love the perspectives on this cover. And Bullseye really does come off as a true threat to Daredevil here. We're going to move on. That's issue 146. A few issues later, fighting Paladin. And I love, again, the movement on this cover. This is Gil Kane. Gil Kane is back. Gil Kane did the one before that too, by the way. Forgot to mention that. But yeah, the movement on this, fantastic. And Paladin's shooting at him like, what? Where's he at? All right, moving on. Now, a few issues later, this one, all right, is actually the first issue with Frank Miller. So this is a new era for Daredevil. This is the end of the decade, 1979, and this is the Death Stalker. And this is an issue in which he dies. The Death Stalker dies. And moving on, right near the end of 1979, this brilliant cover showing the Black Widow getting caught up with a cord from a hairdryer, and Bullseye looking like he's just, bugging out on something. This is fantastic work here, man. And again, this is the cusp of the new era of Daredevil, the one that defined him when Kingpin gets introduced as a foe. So you see, he went through a lot in those 70s. Again, firmly in Spider-Man's shadow, I'll admit. But again, there were so many covers that I just couldn't even include because it would have been too much. All right, but we'll leave it at that for now. Any covers that I forgot or left out? Probably. And if so, so what? You want to get mad about it? Too bad. Hey, forget about it. All right, forget about it. The TV show is picking up the slack these days and putting out Daredevil for a new era of fans. But let's not forget about the past of these characters. And that's what this channel is all about. We like to look at the past and do a bit of a nostalgia kick. So there you go, the Pop Culture Cosmonaut. And we're out of here for now.